All right, y'all, let's get ready for this AMA. Let's get into it.
Stay sick cause I follow my gut. They say I was pushing my luck. I'ma push me a matte all black truck. Oh, I'm not sorry.
What's up, people? What's up, people? What is up, people? Welcome to this live presentation of the Baldur's Gate Larian Studios AMA. I am going to admit right now, we're going to be upfront and honest and frank. I have no idea how AMAs work. But I'm going to try my darndest to ensure that we try to make this a pleasant experience for everybody involved. I'm trying to find. Let's go back. So I see here that there's a series of questions that are already out here. Big ups to Jacques Vaudra. I hope I didn't butcher your name. Thank you. Long time no see. Since you helped me out, help save my arse in Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Appreciate you being here. I'm not 100% sure how this is going to go down. I see a series of questions out here. And what they have here is I'm Swin Vink, creative director of Larian Studios. I'm here with some of my team to talk with you about Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 was a big secret for a long time, and we're super excited to finally show it to you at PAX East. I'm sure you have loads of questions. And today we have Swin, Larian David, Larian Nick P, some other people. They show, where there's the verification that they sent us out via tweet. And it said, we're going to start at 2 p.m. Eastern, which is, we're like 10 minutes beyond that, 12 minutes really to be exact. And I see questions out here, but I don't know where these questions are being answered at. You see what I'm saying? Particularly by the people that are listed above. I'm not quite sure how this is going to work. And again, every single question I assume is not going to be answered, and it may not be answered in order. But I'm trying to find where they're answering these questions. You know what I'm saying? Don't know. But we're gonna try to figure this out. But big ups to everybody that's watching right now. While we're trying to figure this out, by adding question to a non-question, don't ask for personal favors. Top level comments must ask a question. Requests belong in RIM requests. In the past, we've allowed request posts in RIM. This is no longer the case. I don't understand this. I have no idea. Let's see, it says this is in like one other community. Okay, so the official Larian AMA is live. Did it bring us? Okay, is this it? Okay, maybe this is it. Because I see it looks a little bit different. It says, I have submitted a collection of questions gathered from users here over the past week. With any luck, we'll get some answers. But whatever happens, please display decency and composure over your feelings. Okay. We're gonna get to this. Thanks. All right. This is the official is live announcement. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's why I don't frequent these things. You all comments. I don't frequent these things because, again, they're not user friendly. And I have no idea. I want to see the questions to the answer. You know what I'm saying? It says, will we be able to hear? Yeah. We're trying to figure out what's going on, who's answering what. Like, I don't know how we're going to tell if a Larian Studios person is answering any of these questions. Okay, 153 more replies. I have no idea. I told you guys, this is something new. I'm trying to do something new, trying to give you guys in-depth information. It's just that these tool sets are not the easiest to present. I don't get this. How, like, if I'm somebody that's interested in this game, interested in the studio, and I asked Jan to answer this question because Jan loves. All right. 4 years ago. Oh, what is going on here? I really don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I deeply apologize. We're trying to follow this, and it's making utterly no sense. Who is answering questions? Where are the questions being answered at? Is there one common repository for all this stuff? Like, this is not... Yeah, I don't like this format. I really don't. Let's see here. Will there be companions and followers? I mean, there's some good questions here, like, will there be companions and followers who are not origin characters and stuff like that? We just need to know what questions they're answering. What questions are they focusing on? And I have no idea how that's occurring. Let me do something. I'll do this. All right, so it says, we gather, ready to venture. AMA is starting in about 10 minutes. Hang out with us here. So we did that. That's this thing right here. Fact and Wiki. What is that? Okay. I don't know. Okay, so I see there's 403 comments altogether. This is on behalf of Baldur's Gate and many longtime fans of the Baldur's Gate series. I've collected some of the most popular and frequently asked questions. Regorsness says, hey, this is a good idea. I know, I tried. In a tweet, I said I would give this a shot and see what we can do with this. It's just too messy. It's too messy to follow and to do a presentation of. It's even too messy to follow because if I'm getting into this and I want to see what questions that are being asked, it's not organic. It doesn't feel organic enough. Like, when you're in a DM, a Discord DM, and somebody is answering something real live, the screen is a lot more robust and dynamic and you see things moving, and I don't see anything here. It says sort by best. And then it says, and let me close all this other stuff. It says, here, it says that view discussions in one other community. And I don't know what's markdown mode. What the hell is that? I have no idea. You can set marked out. Okay, I don't even know what the hell that means. I understand posting your questions here, but how do I know? Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Now we're cooking with grease. Now we've seen, and anybody that's answering a question, they're gonna have Larian in front of their name, which that helps a lot. Okay. All right. Now we're cooking with grease. Let's first do this while we're getting everything together. Let's first go over the fact that there's going to be these series of questions that's already been answered. And it says reactions are really important part of D&D. A lot of classes have features that revolve around them. There are a ton of really important spells that are reactions, shield, counter spells, absorb elements, etc. Are you making changes to the reaction rules? And if so, how many implementing these crucial spells and features? And the demonstration gameplay, many non-magic skills, dash, jump, had flashy visual effects attached to their use. Has there been consideration given to making mundane skills appear mundane? There have been hints at other 5e sources being implemented in the game. So there's a series of questions here. And finally, less specifically about what has been seen so far, what makes Baldur Gate for you personally? What are its qualities that resonate with you? Okay. So what I'm going to do is scroll through these questions and look for where I see replies. So I saw one reply here. Where did I see that reply at? I saw something from Larian David. Okay, so here it is. The question is, will we be able to hear the spell words while casting spells in the game, as in the old series? Larian David says, most likely, because we've been recording a lot of Latin lately. We weren't finished in the time for the public presentation. Oh, okay, so it is coming. It definitely is coming, y'all. So, interesting point at hand for those that are into the lore, into, a lot of that, the deep nerdistry of Baldur's Gate. Let's see here. What else do we got here? Let's see if we can find some more responses. I see 2 more replies. I don't see, let me see, 2. Okay, nothing. Okay, Larian David says, yes, you will be able to recruit mercenaries. And it says, will there be companions, followers who are not origin characters or playable? So let me do this. I'm gonna do something like this. Maybe this will help if I type in the word Larian at the top. Okay, so yes, and he says, yes, you'll be able to recruit mercenaries. All right. I'm going to go back up too, to make sure I didn't miss anything. So Larian David says, okay, we did answer that one about the Latin. Hold on. Let's go back up. Maybe I need to. Let me do this. I'm going to do Larian, then underscore. That should help me out. Okay, that'll separate it out a lot more. Okay. Says, yes, you'll be able to recruit mercenaries. Again, to the question, will there be companions, followers who are not origin characters or playable? All right, so great. Next question that we have. It says, will feats be included? I'm not 100% sure what feats are, but Larry and David says, yes, we're doing feats, but not immediately. In early access, though. Okay, so at launch, whatever feats are in Baldur's Gate, I don't know if those are side missions or anything like that, but in the launch of the early access, it doesn't appear that feats will be available. Maybe let's do a quick look up and see what feats are. Let's check that out. Let's do some due diligence here, y'all. What are feats in Baldur's Gate? See if we can get educated here. Okay, here goes the wiki, the official wiki. And the official wiki says, so we are educated. It says feats in Baldur's Gate 3 are special talents or expertises that provide special capabilities to characters. At certain levels, your class gives you the ability score improvement feature. Use the optional feats rule. You can forego taking that feature to take a feat of your choice instead. You can take each feat only once, unless the feat's description says otherwise. You must meet any prerequisite specified in a feat to take that feat. If you lose a feat's prerequisite, you can't use that feat until you regain the prerequisite. For example, the grappler feat requires you to have strength of 13 or higher. If your strength is reduced below 13, perhaps with the Withering Curse, you cannot benefit from the grappler feat until your strength is restored. Okay, so that makes sense. And again, feats are special talents or expertises that provide special capabilities to characters. So additional perks that add to what your character can do. Yep, that's what I did, Vadras, is Control F for Larian. Yep, I had to do Larian underscore. I wish there was something more integrated in an AMA, like where you could there should be a button that says questions answered by moderators or whatever. And you click that button and you go through it 1v1 instead of me having to do this. But this still works in the long run. All right. So, says thanks for the reply and all that good stuff. And another concern I have is that it might not show everything because I got to click that, check the reply button. All right, so that's one response right there. Let's go to the next one. Okay, next question is, how in depth will character creation be? Lots of options or sliders, or just a number of defaults to choose between? Okay, good question. Larian David says, character creation can be as in depth as you want it to be. After you select a race and a class, you'll be all set and ready to go. But if you want to, you can dive in deeper and change all the abilities, spells, skills, cantrips, and customize visuals. Interesting. I find that interesting because, look, first and foremost, games like this, the medieval, or I might be, hopefully I'm not pronouncing this wrong, but around that time frame, as far as a video game is concerned, I am a fan of games like Skyrim. What the hell is wrong with this damn thing? Okay, with that being said, I'm trying to tweet this out to everybody, let them know that we are live. We are live. Stream Connect confirmed. Breaking news. Stream Connect confirmed for Division 2. Retweet with comment. Yeah, retweet. This is huge. Features are coming and coming and being more common. Stream Connect feature is coming to Division 2 when it drops. All right, so what I was saying was I'm very excited about this answer to this question because in playing games like Skyrim, I know you're probably thinking to yourself, don't you dare, if you're a Baldur's Gate fan, don't you dare compare this to Skyrim. But playing games like Skyrim, the thing that irked me the most is the scaling seemed diverse, but there was a cutoff. We are live reviewing the Baldur's Gate 3 AMA. Join us. All right. And let me do one more thing. Let me go here, and boom goes the dynamite. Okay, we got all that live. All right, so back to the situation at hand, y'all. The revelation of this is very important for me for the simple fact that it allows me, when I played Skyrim, I started off as a warrior, a human warrior, but then I realized that I wanted to become a mage halfway through. And because your skill points were limited, I was half mage, half warrior, and I didn't put enough points on one particular area, so I was weak at both. And I was stuck, my character was stuck like that. And it sounds like here that there was a lot of depth with your character. And that's very important in games like these, in big expansive games like this. So I'm very pleased to hear this. This really makes me excited. So again, for those of you that just came here, the question was asked by Biters. How in depth will character creation be? Lots of options or sliders, or just a number of defaults to choose between? And Larian David from Larian says, character creation can be as depth as you want it to be. You select a race and a class. you could be all set and ready to go, but if you want to, you can dive in deeper and change all the abilities, spells, skills, cantrips, and customized visuals. To me, that's huge. We got Triviosius. He says you can click on a username to see their comment history. Yeah, I tried that when I first clicked on Larian David. It seems like to me they got a late start. So what happened was when I clicked on his name at first, it said 2 years ago. 2 years ago. So I was like, oh man, but then I just decided to do this. So we'll do that at first. And to cover our bases, which is a great idea, we'll click on everybody's name to make sure that we covered all the questions and stuff. Christopher Torres says, quick question. You think that we will get EA games like Madden, Star Wars Battle? Yeah, look, first and foremost, from what I understand in relation to FIFA, that FIFA contract demands that it's on every single available platform, and Stadia fits that bill, right? So we're at least going to get FIFA at first. But here's what EA does. EA, they don't hedge bets. They want to see productivity, or they're not going to even waste their time. That's why they have a tumultuous relationship with the Switch. Remember, with the Wii U, they really weren't supporting it because they didn't see numbers. Then with the Switch, they had to support it because there were numbers, but then they were iffy about that. So, we got to show the enthusiasm behind the platform. We can't let the naysayers and the haters take over the airwaves. We got to show that there's a big reason why they should support this platform by showing our enthusiasm, by holding events like this, which aren't commonly done. Holding an AMA, something like this. We got to show that enthusiasm. We got to capture their attention, so the more support that we'll get. You know what I mean? You got to look at it like this too. EA signed that deal with Steam. When they signed that deal with Steam, there might have been ramifications in regards to cloud gaming. Don't forget that Steam does cloud gaming in the realm of Stream Connect. It's not fully cloud gaming. It's like a hybrid, but still, they're kind of like in that arena. So, with that being the case, you got to be it's very important that we show our enthusiasm for the platform to help garner mind share and get support. But great question. Let's see. Let's go on to the next one. Larry and David. Okay, so it says, will there be a Dungeon Master mode in Baldur's Gate 3, similar to the one that you had for Divinity Original Sin 2? I really enjoyed it, and with the D&D rules, it would have even more potential. So we're gonna go to, all right, so we're gonna get an answer to this question, but then we're gonna go back to Wiki to find what the hell they're talking about in relation to Dungeon Master mode, because I'm not that familiar with it. But it says, when we built GM mode for Original Sin, we were, of course, thinking of Dungeons and Dragons and how long it would have been since anyone made such a mode. So yeah, it made a lot of sense, but we're focusing on developing the game first at the moment. Interesting. There seems to be one more reply to that. This one, and someone said this one, please. So here's what I want to do. Give me 1 second here. What is Dungeon Master mode Divinity? Wiki in here. And we can get a good wiki. Game Master mode. Okay. So I think that's what they're talking about. Game Master mode. Let me bring that over here, because these wikis are going to be important here. It says, welcome to Game Master Mode wiki page. Game Master Mode tutorial. Game Master user interface. So let's do this real quick. Hopefully you guys can hear this. Let me plop something up real quick to make sure you guys can hear this. Oh, whoops, I don't need to see that. I don't need to see all that. The hell? All right. So I'm going to play this. I'm going to mute the music, and then we're going to play this to see what Dungeon Master mode is all about. So let's do it. Oh shit, this is 31 minutes long. Okay, So this thing is 31 minutes long. We're not going to go all over it. We're going to go over a few moments just to familiarize ourselves. Because, again, this is something new. I understand a lot of people don't normally review AMAs like this, but I want to make sure that we're in the know, including myself. So we're going to just skim over a few moments of this, and then we'll get into, we'll get back to the AMA. Okay. So y'all can't hear that. So let me do this. How can I this over? Let me play this again.
How the Game Master mode works, and I will explain each and every feature for you to use. So first we're going to click that Game Master button, and I'm going to detail the two modes of Master mode offers. First, there's a prepare campaign where you will be able to offline prepare your campaign without anybody being able to join you. So this is really useful if you want to take your time, if you want to deliver something detailed and carefully designed. Then there's the play campaign, which, as its name implies, will allow you to join a campaign or will allow people to join your campaign. For this demonstration, we're going to use prepare campaign like this. We could create a new campaign, but we're instead going to use, as you can see in my campaigns, I've got the Hungry Journey, which is the campaign that the Game Master mode ships with. And I'm going to show you a quick trick on this very first screen right here, which is this button here, the little gear that allows you to edit the title or the description of your campaign. So that's really just real quick. And then we're going to load this campaign. This campaign is already coming with a bunch of tutorials but I will explain everything. But I will recommend that you take a look at these tutorials when you're in the game, because they explain pretty much everything as well. We're going to skip this welcome screen here and start right away with the map. The map is here provided to give your players a sense of location, a sense of space, of where they are in your world. The map is really just a 2D image. You can choose whatever you want here. So the first thing we're going to do is right-click the map and change map image. We are shipping with a variety of maps that you can use, as you can see. You can select whatever you want. We're going to select this one. And you can also drag the map around to maybe focus on another part of the world. You can zoom in, zoom out, and so on. You can also browse your computer for personal customized images, such as this little red prince wallpaper that I have here. Sorry. I can select it and there you go. Of course it works. You can also zoom in if you just want that for some reason and drag it around. Now back to the Banelands, the map where our first campaign takes place. I'm going to restore what it was before. I think it was this. Yeah, there you go. Okay, now that we have a map, we need to add locations to this map. This is done through pins. You can drag and drop a pin from this little yellow thingy here, and you can name it. Let's call it Fort Joy, for instance, a place I'm sure you've heard of. And this one will be, Driftwood. And then once this is done, you have to bind a level, a 3D level, a 3D world to this pin. This is going to be where your players are going to have their adventures. Fort Joy is a beach.
Okay, so here's what's happening here with Game Master mode. So while that audio was playing, because I don't want to take over the AMA with that, while that's playing, here's a good description of what Game Master mode is. Game Master mode is a way for you to create your own world within Divinity, and it looks like Baldur's Gate, where you can control the map, put missions in specific places, create your own, kind of rearrange the game in a certain way. You know what I mean? So you take a map and you put, I guess, certain 3D mission, you put real live missions and so you move it around. So let's just say if the tower to take over the ogre mission used to be east, in Game Master mode, you can now make it West and make it the third mission instead of the fifth mission. You can change the difficulty and different things. So it's kind of like a God mode. Am I right there, guys? It's kind of like a God mode, it sounds like, and it's very interesting. And you see a lot. It's like modding it to a certain degree, and kind of taking the assets already in the game and creating your own type of story. Very interesting, cool, and I think that that's something that sounds like that would be, part of what do you call that? Would be part of a Baldur's Gate game, right? So. Cool. All right. So let's go on to the next question. Larry and Nick also actually answers this one. And it says, will all 5e classes be available at launch? And they say, yes, all classes from 5e Player's Handbook will be included. In early access, you'll be able to play as Cleric, Fighter, Range, Rogue, Warlock, or Wizard. So, for you Baldur's Gate nerds, for those of you that want to have, I guess, all the 5e, I have no idea what 5e is, maybe we can go to the Baldur's Gate wiki, and we can search for 5e, see what we get there. There is no search results for 5e. I can put in what is 5e in Baldur's Gate. All right. It's a Dungeons and Dragons thing. Review Dungeons and Dragons 5e. Heroes of Baldur's Gate 5e. Okay. So it's just a list of canon material for 5e. So I guess it's a particular game or edition or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. But again, for those of you that's stuff tickles you fancy, be in the know that it will be available, that the 5e characters will be there. How did they say it? Yes, all 5e players handbooks will be included at launch, in early access. So that's a big thing for them. All right, cool. A sub question was asked, does that include paths, subclasses, etc.? I said, yep. So awesome. Okay, let's go on to the next one. All right. So this is someone asking a bunch of questions. Let's go on to the next one. All right. It says, will custom non-origin characters have voice acting, or is it for the origin characters only? And Larian Adam says, hello, yes, custom characters will have voice acting. You'll choose a voice as part of a character creation. Awesome. Okay. So it looks like there may be a couple of sub questions to this. It says, will the voices be for just comments during combat or whatever? And it doesn't look like they follow up with an answer to any of those sub questions. So, okay, cool. So you'll be able to select a voice and things like that. Nothing too uncommon. All right. Let's see here. Not a question, just someone making reference to their names. Okay, that's all that there is right now, but we're gonna do what homie big ups to Xavier Bay says Hell Stadia. We're gonna do with what our homie Trevosius. Tell me how to pronounce that. I don't want to butcher that, please. But a great suggestion. We're gonna click on each individual person to see what we get here. All right, so I'm clicking on Larian Swan, and 2 minutes ago, Larian Swan says, "Can I go to?" I'm here with the Baldur's Gate. I'm Swan. Something? Yeah, no. I wanted to see the question I was asked. Okay, so they're asking a bunch of questions. All right, okay. We don't have grappling. It says, okay, I want to know what it says, and I'm here with some talk with Baldur's Gate. I would like to see the questions that he was asked. Okay. All right, so here we go. One is, while it's not going to be an EA immediately, what is he talking about? Oh, this sucks. I can't get to the question. I'm trying to get to the question. It says, while it's not going to be an EA, while is what going to be an EA? Oh, yeah. See, this whole format is bad. I don't like it. I don't like it. Is what going to be an EA? Why can't I see the question? Okay, all right, it says, while it's not going to be an EA immediately, the features and mechanics, early access. The features and mechanics that allow a character. Okay, so he's answering all these questions. I got it. Okay. Now it makes sense. All right. And I know, yeah, it's what I say, Larian Swan. No relation to Lynn Swan. All right, so let's go through the questions like this. Reactions are really important of D&D 5e. A lot of classes have features that revolve around them. There are a ton of really important spells that are reaction shields, counter spells, absorb elements, etc. Are you making changes to the 5e reaction rules? And if so, how are you implementing these crucial spells and features? And Larian Swan says, while it's not going to be an EA immediately, the features and mechanics that allow a character to perform an action has a reaction that will trigger automatically. The players will be able to control which reactions they want to enable an anticipation of enemy actions. For example, a wizard would disable their attack of opportunity but enable the shield spell, which will be cast automatically when the wizard is targeted by an attack of magic missile spell. Okay. Question 2. Along the same lines, you have tutored emulating the degree of player freedom offered in tabletop Dungeons & Dragons. But there are few core battle mechanics that have not been shown off. Will grappling be a battle mechanic? Can you read any action, such as an attack or spell? Will extra attack work the same way? Can you set spells, especially cantrips, to autocast every turn? Will ammunition and spell components mechanics be present? The answer to that is, we don't have grappling, but we have shoving. Extra attacking will work in the 5e, though a bit less limiting. You currently can actively ready an action, but you can select with one of your reactions can trigger during the enemy turn. We're not doing auto casting. Ammunition is therefore things that are rare special ammo. Spell components are only present on spells that require expansive materials as a balancing tool. Got a call coming in, which is very uncommon. We'll let it slide. Hold on one. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So, third question. Okay, the third question is, in the demonstrated gameplay, many non-magical skills, dash, jump, etc., had flashy visual effects to their use. Has there been consideration given to making mundane skills appear mundane and reserving fancier effects for spells and truly magical supernatural abilities? Answer to that is, yes, we have actually started with a more mundane version of that, but it didn't work that well and made it harder to read, which is why we gave it some extra flash. Okay, so question 4 is, there have been hints of other 5e sources being implemented into the game. Are you going to include material from Mordekainen's Tome of Foes, Xanathar's Guide to Everything, and or other player materials outside of the core material of the 5e Player's Handbook? Additionally, at full release, will all content of the PHB be represented, notably subclasses and sub-races? Okay, that's a lot of D&D nerdistry but they got an answer for that. It says HP, MM, DM damage are the base we are starting from, but we are taking materials from the other books too. All right, question 5 is, what is your plan for magic items? Are you using the classic magic items from existing D&D source material? And are you creating your own? Will we be able to craft our own magic items in game? Okay, I think that's more relative to the norm here, including myself. The answer to that is we're planning a mixture of magic items from publishing D&D materials. My apologies for that. We're planning a mixture of items from publishing D&D materials somehow and homebrew items of similar complexity and power level. All right, let's do it. Don't want to Skype calls to filter through. So I'll just have to put that back in later. Okay, that's cool. All right, so I'm just gonna read off questions that are relative to the general gamer. This really isn't a Dungeons and Dragons channel where we're real in depth with that, and I don't want to spend time bouncing back and forth between the wiki, if things get too in depth. We're just gonna go with the basic gameplay and some of the more visually extravagant features, and we'll answer questions on that. Some of this stuff that's more in depth, this ain't the best channel to try to get into that for, so I'm not going to try to pretend and replicate something I have no idea with, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to spend the whole session trying to educate everybody on this. This is some deep history, some deep lore that's going to take some time for people to get themselves used to, and this podcast alone, or this particular episode of this show alone, is not going to do it. So, but hold on, let me see here. This is Gaming Live. Okay, that's just a tag. I was just curious about it. All right, so let's skim through some of these questions. It says there's been a back and forth over the inclusion of origin characters, namely how origin. That's beyond our. That's beyond our pay grade. Will all possible companions be available as origin character options, or will there be companions available only as NPCs? That was question number 8. And the answer is we're trying to make all characters with a backstory available as origin characters. Other than that, you'll be able to recruit generic mercenaries and customize these. We're also planning to allow you to build a custom party from the character creation scene, though that most likely won't be present in early access from the get-go. Ronell, what's going on? What is going on? Good to see you, my good friend. All right, so here's the thing, y'all, with that. I'm an old school PC gamer. I used to game on a system called the Tandy 1000, where we had games like they were Sierra games. Sierra games used to be big. They used to be the Naughty Dog of PC gaming. Sierra games, King's Quest, Police Quest, and a whole slew of other Leisure Suit Larry. A whole slew of other games. What happened with those games is they started to tap into this deep, rich, intricate upgrading and changing and swapping of characteristics of even non-main characters, as they're talking about here. I think it's important to take note, because this is the Stadia Dosage channel, that you're having all this in-depth characters customization was the term I was looking for. You're having all this in-depth customization to the likes that you only see on PC. That is now coming to Stadia. That's big, and we want to see how in depth that will be, and how ease of use that will be. I'm hoping that a lot of this stuff can be done via the controller, that I don't have to play this game via keyboard and mouse on Stadia. But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that's just a testament of the power of Stadia, and why you're seeing it here opposed to the other consoles. This is some deep customization that normally wouldn't be, you couldn't handle, or just wouldn't be feasible on the current consoles. So, big time thing there. All right, let's go to the next question. Let's skim here. There have been concerns of some aspects of the game from what has been seen feel too clean or feels too much like Divinity, Original Sin 1 and 2. Oh, this is interesting. Characters not having a certain air of grit or grime about them despite the circumstances, and does not fit the darker themes that have been a part of Baldur's Gate series. Do you plan on addressing this as you continue to work the overall aesthetics? Oh man, in early access and info releases? Holy cannoli. So here you go. You got some big time Dungeons and Dragons Baldur's Gate fans. And I play a little bit of whatever Dungeons and Dragons games were available on PC. I've definitely played Baldur's Gate. And I will say that yes, there is a darker theme to it. Where Divinity, though a great game, I don't know if this is the right term. The air is a little bit more whimsical. So I'm curious on how they're going to answer this one. And again, that was question number 9. They're asking, hey, y'all ain't just slapping Baldur's Gate on another Divinity game on you. You know what I'm saying? I'm a hardcore Baldur's Gate fan. Don't do that. And they answer that with, yes, we actually have an entire system in development for grit and grime that adapts to circumstances, but it's not ready yet. When it comes to the world and story, we aim for a broad spectrum. It can get very, very dark, but there are also moments of brightness. So interesting. So, I mean, here's the thing, y'all. To try to bring this on home and bring this to the common folk, this reminds me of Fallout. Now, for those of you that don't follow my content, y'all know that I've been a staunch fighter against lies on Fallout 76. Just like Stadia, people went overboard on Fallout 76's flaws and tried to make it something to be as bad as something it wasn't. I got the game at launch. Around launch, I started streaming the game. I played with about a half a dozen people around launch. None of us had these hardcore problems, these game-breaking problems. I heard they were on PC, so I can't speak about PC gamers, but I can talk about console gamers. On the console, there were your typical bugs, the same typical bugs that were present in every single Fallout game since Fallout 3 that are known of Bethesda. The same bugs that were there in everybody's darling Fallout game, Fallout New Vegas, 4 and now 76. And it wasn't that I was trying to say that Fallout 76 was a 10. I rank it a 7.5. And I got pissed off about something I was trying to do as far as getting some heavy armor that didn't work out my way, so I haven't played it in a few months. That being said, I was starting to feel that the people were piling on Fallout because they were trying to change it from Fallout to Talk Game. What do I mean by that? Is that, to me, at the core of Fallout is journeying and looting. I know Bethesda is known for their dialogue trees, but a bulk of the Fallout experience is what I can do and what I can discover, not who I can talk to. And what we've seen with the advent of New Vegas, and then the adding of companions and these loopy dialogue trees, and then what they tried to do in Fallout 4, which is take that element that was commercially successful and then add Minecraft elements to it, that people wanted to divert further and further to what made Fallout 3 great. And that's why I stood up for Fallout 76, because it refocused. It ain't a complete sequel, but it just focused on the grit of the game. You know what I'm saying? It went back to its roots. in regards to the Fallout 3, and that's what I appreciated. So I said all of that to say this. I can appreciate that person's question. Everybody loves Larian Studios, including myself. I love the Divinity games. I love those style of games. That being said, Dungeons and Dragons and Baldur's Gate has a deeper lineage than Larian does. Larian ain't nowhere near the lineage, despite them creating excellent games of Baldur's Gate and Dungeons and Dragons. Don't bring your hype over here and completely turn or Dungeons and Dragons and Baldur's Gate into something that is quote unquote pop, culturally accepted or pop culture. Don't want that. And it's refreshing to see Larian Studios say, yeah, we fully recognize that. Oh yeah, you're gonna get a little taste of our pixie dust in this. We're Larian Studios. We can't be nobody else but who we are. But we understand the lineage of Baldur's Gate, and we're going to make sure that for sure there is no question that we got the dark and the grime and the grit associated to it. It's not going to be there day one. We're just focusing on the base right now and getting the game developed, but we want to give you guys early access to it, and you're going to see that as the game progresses. I like that. And it just holds more weight to me as somebody that's a fan of Larian's works, that they are humble enough to recognize here, even though we got a couple of 93s on the last couple of games, we don't overshadow Baldur's Gate. There's a responsibility with us taking over this particular game, and we take that seriously, and I definitely like that. Ashes to Ashes, hey, what's up, man? Great job yesterday on the show with Eddie and Dan and Chase. Ashes, definitely like what you had to say, and I don't know if you have a channel, Ashes, but if you do, I like to do this. I'll make you a mod, and I want you to drop a link to your channel here. You know what I'm saying? You have robust opinions, and that came through yesterday. Maybe we can get you on a podcast. But with that said, if you definitely have a channel, if you're doing material, I want you to put it here. I want people to see your stuff. Let's take just a 1 minute intermission just to say all this before we get back to the rest of these questions. Yesterday we had a situation with Doom Eternal, and a lot of the pillars of the Stadia community, along with myself, we have varying opinions about how we felt about this whole Doom Eternal thing. And we got Brian coming on tomorrow. We're going to go over that in more detail. And I haven't had a chance to talk to Brian. He may fall on a different line than I am. With all that being said, it was great that everybody can voice their difference of opinions. Everybody respect those differences of opinion, but at the same time feel more than comfortable in laying out why their opinion differs. And that's what makes this community different from any other community that's out there now, for sure, and any other community I've quite frankly ever been a part of. I'm not trying to knock any other community, but I'm just going to say this community is special. When we have situations where in one community you're not allowed to say something negative about a particular field, or you're going to get ostracized. In another community, you can't be a fan of their games going to PC, or you're going to get ostracized. You know what I'm saying? In another community, you can't say anything bad about the kiddiness of some of their games, or you're going to get ostracized. It is fantastic that we have a group of well-rounded thinkers that appreciate diversity of thought and can have dialogues and differences of discussions, and then bring it all back home and say, hey, but at the end of the day, this platform is great. We love it. Great things are going to come. It makes me feel very special to be part of this community, and that's why. And this is one of the reasons why, beyond what happens with the technical aspects of Stadia, why this community is going to grow and be so powerful. Beck and I say, be so powerful. I truly feel that. A lot of people from the outside looking in can't understand why I'm so enthusiastic, not only of this platform, but this community. But you got to feel it. You got to feel it to understand it. You got to be a part of it to understand it. Okay? You got to be a part of it to understand it, definitely. Ashes just dropped his content while I'm doing this quick intermission. Make sure y'all don't miss anything. Go to his channel real quick and sub to it. That is the MM2K demand of the day. Because I'm doing that right now. I'm subbing. I want to show y'all right now. I'm subbing to his channel. Y'all see that? And I'm rocking those bells for notifications, please. Oh, I don't want y'all to see his tube buddy. I didn't realize all that stuff was up there. But definitely. Great opinions. We support each other. And definitely, man, you can't beat this community. You can't beat it with a stick. I love it. I love it. So thank you, Ashes, for dropping that in there. Yeah, man, this is something magical. And I know people are like, man, shut the hell up. What the hell are you talking? No, I'm serious. As someone that likes to focus on gaming, I want to get all that fluff out of the way. I want to get all that plastic console war stuff out of the way. I just want to focus on gaming. I just want to focus on gaming enhancing. And that's what this community is all about. And I know I spend a lot of my time fighting back lies and stuff like that. But when I decompartmentalize all that stuff, I'm just sitting there playing games and I'm loving the experience, man. I'm loving the experience. So you got to feel it to believe it. You got to feel it to believe it. All right, well, let's get back to the situation at hand. Hopefully everybody sign up to Ashes. Definitely do that. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else has channels, definitely drop them in, Stadia channels, that is. It's the Stadia Dosage. And this ain't just about me blabbering all the time. We're going to get more robust on contributors, things like that. It's just right now I'm jump starting the community, and I want to thank everybody for their appreciation of my efforts so far. But there will be others. There will be others. All right. So we just had question number 9, which I think was a hell of a question that was asked being answered. All right, so let's go to question number 10. But let's do this. While I'm going over question number 10, because we got 7 more that we're going to go over here, and then we're going to see what else is out there. I want you guys to come up with a series of questions. Think about them right now. Don't post them just yet. Think of a series of questions that you would like for me to post in here and see if we get a response. Okay? See if we get an answer. How about that? All right. So let me go over number 10. But first and foremost, Alberto Madonna. We're going over the AMA questions. Several good questions that have been posted here. Definitely. And there's a lot of, there's a lot of D&D nerdetry going on right here. I will admit, I will not lie. But for the sake of the common gamer like myself that may not be in depth with all this D&D nerdetry, I don't want to spend too much time going into wikis and we're not going to do that. We're just going to go over the simple gameplay mechanic questions and the simple implementation questions, the things that I think the majority of us listening to this channel are in tune to. Nothing wrong with that stuff. But again, I'm not going to sit there and fake it like I'm some D&D expert and try to pretend to be something that I'm not. You know what I mean? So this channel isn't for that. We're just excited to have Baldur's Gate, a very excellent looking game, on our platform, and we just want to get to some basic mechanics and style of play and stuff like that. All right. So with that said, let's see here. Ashton says, people don't understand it until they use it, experience it, and feel the passion of the community. Absolutely. He says, no lie, been gaming since Atari 2600 and have never seen a community come together like this around it. Absolutely, man. This is fantastic. It ain't about just, sitting there saying, well, I bought this thing, so I have to love it. No, I mean, hey, look, I'm going to speak for most of us. Whether they want to admit it or not, let's have real conversations real quick. When I got Stadia, I had no intentions of thinking that it would be better or liking it more than I did GFN, GeForce Now. I've been part of GFN's beta for about a year and a half, close to 2 years, I believe. Yeah, I want to say about a year and a half. Big up to my homie, the Real Master, that put me down with it. And I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. It was very robust, and even though I did Project Stream, I had GFN in my hands every day. I liked it a lot. Had no idea that there would be anything any more more capable than GFN until Stadia came to my house. And I'm going to tell you, I heard about their AMA, which was disastrous in so many ways. I heard about the hate they were getting I was falling for the okie doke, as we say in these gaming streets. I was listening to the Bibble Babble, and I was like, oh man, maybe I should cancel my order. And I said, a voice in my head said, no, MM2K, don't do that, because you're testing out all these cloud services, and in order for you to test these cloud services, you got to keep this thing. And I said, okay. And it's not about me paying money, and therefore because I paid money for this thing, I gotta like it. I was paying $25, $35 a month for Shadow, and I'm not a fan of Shadow. I'm just not. The amount of space allocated is too small, and I love Stadia's approach to it more, which averts load times. So it's not about because I paid money for this thing that I gotta like it. Who cares? That's the risk that I take. I'm not bothered by that. When I got this thing in my hand, and I started a 4K Hulu TV on the same computer, my son was on YouTube, and my wife was watching a 4K movie in the bedroom, and that thing was buttery smooth, and y'all seen me playing Destiny 2 on that browser. I couldn't believe it. I was sold from that day. I was sold. We're gonna get to some questions and get right back to this AMA. It says, the Wiki Bliss says, I'll answer D&D questions, no problem. Thank you. We have a D&D expert in the house. Thank you. Appreciate you. Albert Madonna says, Genshin Impact in a game in closed beta with big potential. I hope Google sees this game. Oh, okay, cool. I got to look that up. Sean Livingston, what's up? Hey, Sean, what's going on, good brother? He says, hey, bro, for some reason, we are hear the music twice in your stream. Are you? Oh, okay. Let me see here. Check it out. Yeah. All right, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. All right, should be gone now. Is it gone now? I'm a one-man gang. Trying to do all this stuff. I have no idea what I'm doing. It should be gone now. Let me know if it's gone. No, it's not just you. He said, yes, I'm hearing it twice. Very close in step with each other. But no, he was right. Yeah, it was very close in step. Thank goodness. Okay, I hear it okay. All right, cool. So, now let's get back to the AMA. Question number 10 here. Writing and storytelling is a major point of contention and discussion surrounding Baldur's Gate 3. While there has been speculation about the plot, the player responses when interactions... hold on. I want to make sure I was reading the question and not the answer. Again, writing and storytelling is a major point of contention and discussion surrounding Baldur's Gate 3. While there has been speculation about the plot, the player responses when interacting with other NPCs have been specifically noticed. Many agree that the first-person past tense style of writing is jarring and breaks immersion. Is this the style you wish to continue forward with, or is this still being worked on? So I guess this is the first-person past tense style of writing is jarring. All right. Oh, I get what they're saying. Okay, so I think the narration of it. I think the narration, they're saying that people think that's jarring, and they're going to continue with that trend. The answer is there's several reasons why we're doing it this way. Of course, there are story reasons, but it also allows you to get closer to your character. Their thoughts, their feelings, and moments of introspection, allowing you to truly understand their motivations. We've experimented with several styles and when starting development, but this was one of the one at the end of the day it stood out where we're actually quite excited by the way we can do it. It turned out to be an excellent way of allowing players to tell their own story and role play their character on a deeper level. I think it's a wonderful tool for role playing and storytelling, and when you're playing, it's like you're narrating your own adventure. Again, I'm not trying to fanboy over Larian Studios, but I actually liked that narration style. I get for immersion purposes, you want to... I get for immersion and storytelling purposes alone, where like a third person retrospective, oh yeah, and this is the point of time when I I'm going to go over the mountaintop, or something, you know, where that might be jarring. Well, I wonder if I really feel like passing over that water is a great idea. I get where, again, for storytelling, that might be a little divisive. However, in gameplay immersion, when you're trying to perfectly meld or mesh gameplay and storytelling with this style of game, I think it's a great fit. And as in a game like, let's say BioShock, for instance, that's fast-paced, first person and moving constantly, yeah, that would be jarring. But in a slower paced game where it's actually turn-based as far as the attacking is concerned, I think it helps the players, new and old, have a good grasp of what's going on everywhere. Because traversal and battle and fighting is, the scaling is vertical. There's a lot of stuff that can be going on, and I don't think you necessarily need rapid narration for a slower paced game. You understand what I'm saying? So those are my thoughts on that. I wonder what you guys' thoughts are on that. Right. Ashes says, I'm pumped for Baldur's Gate 3 and hope they listen, but not implement everything being asked. We have seen bad outcomes when devs yeah. And I think Larian, hey look, Larian is confident in a walk right now, as we say. They're very confident in a step. They're confident in a two-step. Listen to this answer. Very transparent, and they're basically saying, trust us. I'll go over it again. There's several reasons why we're doing it this way. Of course there are story reasons, but it also allows you to get closer to your character, their thoughts, their feelings, and moments of introspection, allowing you to truly understand their motivations. All right, again, we're trying to get you close to what's going on here. There's a lot of stuff going on, and this is a slower paced game. Relax. They continue to say, we've experimented with several styles when starting development, but this was the one at the end of the day that stood out, where we're actually quite excited by what we could do with this. It turned out to be an excellent way to allow players to tell their own story and role play their character. Again, this is a role-playing game, turn-based style. On a deeper level, I think it's a wonderful tool for role-playing and storytelling. When you're playing, it's like you're narrating your own adventure. Hey, look, we tried it y'all way. We've already scripted out, we've already put it on the whiteboard. It didn't work. We're the experts here. We understand the lineage, but trust us on this one. I appreciate that. Very excellent response, very transparent response. All right, let's see what the next question is. Let's see here. Let me go back here. Sorry, we got to go back and forth here. It's just the way that this is designed. It's a flaw in the design of the Reddit AMAs. Hopefully they can reconfigure it and make it look better. I've seen business tools that look a lot better and work a lot better in question and answer sessions like this. 11, the demo gameplay demonstrated a very strong buff to bonus actions compared to the 5e rules. Okay, I'm gonna read this question, and who was that said they were the D&D expert? I'm gonna fall back on you, homie. Who was that? That was the Wicked Bliss. Hey, Wicked Bliss, we're gonna need you to explain this to us. So I'm gonna try this one, see how this works out, because I don't want to go back and forth through Wiki and separate everybody's experience to this AMA. Number 11, the demo gameplay demonstrated a very strong buff to bonus actions compared to the 5e rules. All right, so we gotta know I don't know what the hell 5e rules is. This seems to break or make other aspects of the game less desirable, especially when concerning the balance of classes. The cutting action from rogue class becomes largely invalidated when all classes can dash, disengage, or hide with a bonus action. Is this an issue you're aware of, or has there's been something lost in translation and is not an issue? All right, so that's the question. Here goes the answer, and then we're gonna go to the Wicked Bliss. We're gonna go to the Wicked Bliss to make this all make sense for us. So think of your response, Wicked Bliss, while I'm reading this answer. It says, we'd like to allow the players to combo small, common sense bonus actions with full actions. From the mentioned dash and hide still require a full action, while disengage is merged with jump as a bonus action. We are aware of the effect that this has on rogues and are looking into ways to keeping them appealing and viable. So in short, they're saying, we see where you want to keep up with the lore of the story and particularly the gameplay, keep stacked up with how everything is interconnected. And yeah, okay, we'll oblige in your line of reasoning that, hey, maybe what we're doing doesn't quite fit that narrative. We'll look into it. But at the end of the day, still let us work. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I get from that. Very interesting though. May not hold over too well with the deep dive in Baldur's Gate fans. But Wicked Bliss, I'm hoping Wicked Bliss got an answer for us on all this. If Wicked Bliss is still here. If not, let's go on to the next question. It says, when you mentioned that loot will be static. Okay, this feels like something y'all we can follow. When you mentioned that loot will be static, is that only for magical items or is that for all items? Following this, will all magic items be known upon finding them, or will a player have to use identify spell or something similar to discover the magical qualities and items hold? So what they're saying is, if you come across the bracelet of Lazarus, I'm just making something up here. I don't know the lore, and I'm not even going to pretend. The bracelet of Lazarus with the ruby emerald. There's only one bracelet of Lazarus with the ruby emerald, and those numbers behind that are going to be 20 attack, 50 block. You see what I'm saying? There ain't going to be 80 variations of different items. You know what I'm saying? Like what you might come across in a Fallout or something like that, right? And that's fine. That's fine. It kind of like puts guardrails around things and make things more common. And it gives you a better appreciation when you get something. Like when you get the bracelet of Lazarus. Holy cow! Or when you get the boot of Icarus. Oh man, that thing is garbage. You know what I'm saying? It helps bring it home and takes out a lot of the mystery. And as an older person like myself, I don't like too much mystery and superficial things like items. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I like the mystery. I don't like to know, hey, in that chest that I'm about to open, no, don't tell me that. But I want to know offhand when I got something powerful, when I got something great, when I got a bunch of junk, because it helps me go through my inventory a lot quicker and stay focused on the meat and potatoes of the game, which is the gameplay, opposed to checking your inventory. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Let's see here. Let's go back up here. Question number 13 is, went off. All right. It says, there has been concern about the team initiative showcased in the demo, specifically with how this greatly favors whoever goes first and is able to alpha strike their enemy, which worries people. This will cause combat to be too one-sided. Is the plan to continue with group initiative alone, or do you plan on adding individual initiative as an option, at least for single player? I have no idea what that means, but let's see what their answer is. Maybe the answer could bring it into us again. Wicked Bliss, if you're here, help this make sense to us. One of the big things of Baldur's Gate 3 is the focus on party over individuals. As we were trying to encourage more cooperation between party members in combat, we had the idea to let them share their turn for total tactical coherence. Additionally, it provides a more comfortable co-op experience. The introduction of the common party, whoa, this is a big one. The introduction of the common party turns naturally leads to the changes for the initiative system. We need to compare the initiatives of groups of characters instead of individuals. We have considered several ways to do that, some more complex than others. And for early access, we're going to take the highest initiative role outcome in the party or NPC group. We chose this way because we want to explore the mechanical sub-theme of allowing the entire party to benefit from each member's personal excellence in some area. The same way an eloquent bard can lead their entire party through a tough dialogue check. A swift rogue should be able to give their party the best shot at going first in the combat. On top of that, this way of resolving team initiative opens the way for the player to scout out the enemy with the top initiative and neutralize them before entering the combat. However, all of that said, it is something that we are still working on and experimenting with. If we find out it doesn't work as well as we hope, we'll tinker with it. It's one of the things we'll figure out during early access. Okay. So, I guess they're talking about, okay, initiative, 7 says, initiative answers who attacks first. At the moment, the whole player group attacks first before the enemy has its turn if the roll is good. I like this stream more as you don't have the knowledge of the game. It's entertaining. I don't know either. We're going to figure this out together, baby. That's what this community is all about. You know what I'm saying? No, hey, look, there's no I and T, right? Let me see here. So 7 says that could make combats one-sided because they're decided by the first roll. So if I get what 7 is saying and what's being asked here, remember when they first went through the walkthrough of the Baldur's Gate live demonstration? And I'm going to say this. If you haven't seen the live demonstration, you're doing yourself a disservice. You need to go watch that thing right now. But if you've seen it, then you understand what I'm talking about. Where he played it first and he got his ass mollywopped. There's no other way to put it. He got mollywopped. And then he came back. Now, there really wasn't a roll then, right? There wasn't a roll. I don't think there was a roll. There might have been a roll. But if I'm connecting all the dots properly, then that means that depending upon who strikes first, heavily determines the outcome of the battle. And I don't know how I feel about that, if that is true. I mean, I get it. Rolls may play a significant role in it, no pun intended, in the tabletop version of all this. But as far as gameplay is concerned, it's kind of off-putting for a turn-based strategy just to know because you hit first, I'm done for. So again, we'll see. I mean, I get what they're saying. Look, it's a give and take. It may benefit you, it may not benefit you. It's the luck of the dice. You know what I'm saying? I just, you know, and then it also, but then it does add a sense of urgency, y'all, to where, how are you going to equip your people? How are you going to, what items are you going to roll with? Who's going to be in your party to help supplement the fact that you might not get that first attack because of a roll, right? And just to go a little bit in the weeds, just a little bit, can you imagine that? Having to deal with that dynamic when the, not the stream connect, but the connect play portion of it gets active, where if you're streaming this and people control your roles, and how frustrating that can be and how comical that stream can be, you know, these are things that you're going to have to plan for. And that's what turn-based strategies are all about and why I love them so much. My favorite game of all time, if you don't know, is a little known game called Final Fantasy 2. No, I'm sorry. Jesus Christ, I always do that. Phantasy Star 2. Phantasy Star 2 on the Sega Genesis is my favorite game of all time. I have a special place in my heart for role-playing games, especially turn-based games. So, definitely I'm looking forward to this. All right, very interesting indeed. I'm gonna go to 7 real quick. He said, that could make combats one-sided. Okay, and he said, if you let every single character of the group in the enemy group roll, the turns are mixed, but it's harder to synergize group tactics. Okay, I got you. We're gonna see how it pans out in early access. All right. Let's go back up here. I think that was question 13, right? How will camp work in multiplayer? Will we still be able to interact with each other? Now, I'm not even quite sure how the multiplayer is going to work in here, and that was question number 14, I believe. Yep. So let's go ahead to the answer here, see what their response is to that. It says, we'll demo multiplayer at a later stage, but the camp is certainly an important part of Baldur's Gate 3. Okay. Interesting. All right. 15. The original Baldur's Gate games were somewhat of a departure from the classic D&D, and they focused on a specific protagonist. Look, that's beyond our pay grade, because we got a couple more questions. It has been previously stated that Larian has been working on the Wizards of the Coast to make Baldur's Gate 3. Okay, that's out of our pay grade as well. It's talking about that 5e. When I see that 5e, I know it's time to run. And finally, less specifically about what has been so far. What makes Baldur's Gate for you personally? What are its qualities that resonate with you? Let's go to number 17. For that one, very simple question to answer. And it says, I've replayed Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 when we started, and on this, and the same things that stood out back then still stand out today. The sense of being on an epic quest with a party of interesting companions, which I need to keep happy. Interesting. The promise that there's something to be discovered everywhere I go. The sense that I'm someone special in the world and make a difference in a lot of, oh, that's cool. I think I appreciate it more now than I did back in those days. So, very interesting indeed. All right, y'all. So, now's the time. We've gone through all of those major questions. If you have something that you want me to post in the AMA, let me know right now and I'll do so. It went live at 2, so we got 30 more minutes to try to get it answered. Here's what I'm going to do, though. All right, we're going to do this. I am going to try to see who else had questions and stuff. All right, we got Larian David here. So let's see what Larian David had answered. Says, hey, okay, so these are. So Larian David was asked two questions. It says, hey Larian team, thank you so much for creating Baldur's Gate 3. I can't wait to try it out. In any case, here are my questions. 1, can we create custom vampire spawn characters? 2, will warlock patrons have a large narrative weight in the story? 3, can half dragon grow beards like other half elves? All right, this is more nerd stuff, but that's okay. But Baldur's Gate, Dungeons and Dragons in-depth stuff. 2, can we create custom vampire spawn characters? No, currently not. 2, will warlock patrons have a large narrative weight in the story? Just like the cleric gods and the paladin gods, the warlock patron is variable we know of and can react to. Currently, they introduce dialogue options and voice barks more as possible, but not planned for early access act. Can we have drow grow beards like other half elves? Can you believe that none of us here at the table actually know? We need to ask the mustache people if they planned it. So interesting. All right. So let's go back. That was everything answered by Larian David. Let's go to Larian Nick. See what Larian Nick has been asked and answered. No, you know what? No, I don't think I answered everything from Larian David. Let me go back. I might have missed everything from Larian David. Okay, so let's go to Larian David's next question. Let's click on that. And it says, in Baldur's Gate 2, you go to a bunch of that's beyond our pay grade. Let's go back. Okay, so go to this question. In Baldur's Gate 3, I said, will Baldur's Gate 3 be moddable? If so, is it possible for modders to add in new locations, companions in the main storyline, or add a new UI? 2, will the locations be act-based? A location can be accessed only in Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, so, making traversal a little bit more linear. Like the original Baldur's Gate, will locations be broken down into sections, or will it be like Divinity Original Sins 2, where you are in a huge terrain? Is tavern resting possible in the game? Example, in Baldur's Gate, you have to rent a room. In my opinion, it adds immersion to the game. I would agree to that. And lastly, will there be party banters among companions? If so, will they be in dialogue mode like the originals, or will they say out their lines during exploration like Dragon Age series? here goes his answers. Number 1, we are focusing on developing and finishing the main campaign. Once we have some space, we could talk about that. Every 2, will their locations be act-based? Every good story has a beginning, middle, and end. Okay, I don't know if that's a great answer. Oh, okay. All right. I guess so. I guess he's hinting to yes. 3, is it a large terrain or kind of, linear sections? It says you're in a huge terrain, but between acts you will travel from one huge region to another. Okay, perfect. Is tavern resting possible in the game? We can't talk about this yet. All right. And number 5, will there be party banters among companions? We have both types. Of course, they'll comment and react. They will banter while just walking around, but they will also react to what you and your party are doing. All right, interesting. Very interesting that there's going to be both of those types of dialogue interactions with your characters. Big ups to Want to Escape Duncan. What's up? He also says, so Asher says, you all see Crew 2 and Division 2 both are coming to Stadia with Stream Connect. Awesome news. Absolutely. Yep. And that was broken by the hardest working man on this side of Stadia, my homie Duncan. So those are great questions. I think ones that we can relate to. Let's go back to Larian David and see what else was he asked. Let's see here. So it says, will there be companions, followers who are not origin characters? Yeah, we've already heard the answer to that one. It says, how depth will character creations be? Great question. How in depth will characters creations be? Lots of options or sliders or just numbers of defaults to choose between. Let me do this. Let me bring the gameplay back up. What happened to the gameplay? What happened to my Baldur's Gate gameplay? Let me do this. I'm gonna do this real quick. I'm sorry, guys. I had some funky, fresh Baldur's Gate gameplay. Let me go to the history that they all of a sudden just. Come on, man. All right. Let me see. Let me go to Stadia's channel. What the hell happened? That was very weird. Okay, let's go here. We're gonna pull it up real quick. Come on. Videos. And there we go. What the heck, man? What the heck? Oh crap, now that's what happens. Oh shucks. Tacked it up. What is going on? Why is it? It's this. Oh, stop. No, I don't want to work. YouTube isn't working for some reason. I don't want to send feedback. I want to. Stop it. Okay. It's not gonna let me do it. All right, sorry guys. We're not gonna waste too much time with that. Stop it. So back to the situation at hand. What the hell happened? It says, how will in-depth characters creations be? How will in-depth character creation be? Lots of options or sliders or just a number of defaults to choose between? No. I think there's going to be sliders. This is character creation can be as depth as you want it to be. After you select a race and a class, you'll be all set to go. But if you want, you can dive in deeper and change all the abilities, spells, skills, cantrips, and customize visuals. I think they covered that. Again, if you guys haven't seen the demonstration gameplay, I think they talked about that. They had set character defaults, for the demonstration, but I think they talked about how the character, customization would be real in depth, All right, let's see here. Next question up says, How in depth will character? No, we already did that. All right. Where is Volo's beard and is there a quest to retrieve it? And they said it's froze off. Seriously though, his custom head wasn't quite ready for the presentation build, but don't worry, he will look like Volo. All right. Let's see here. This sounds like Larian David. It says, will we be able to hear the spell words while casting spells in the game? And we did already answer that question from Larian David. It says, okay. All right, and a lot of this is older stuff that we already had answered from Larian David. Let's see what Larian Nick has. And again, if you guys have questions that you would like for me to ask, start putting them in the chat, y'all. And then do me a favor, so I know it's a question that you want me to put the letter Q in front of it and a colon, and then just type whatever your question is. That'll help me pull it over. So here goes what Larian Nick has answered. Let's go first one. How will the short rest, long rest system work in the game for hit, dice, spell slots, item enhancements, and the like? Or will there be a different system in place for it? He says, ignore the question that's already been answered. Glad to see you guys working on Baldur's Gate 3. To take a long rest, Larian Nick says, the whole party needs to go to the camp and spend the night there. This will restore and reset any features normally tied to the long rest in 5e, and also give the party a moment to reflect on recent events. A lot happens at the camp, more on that later. As we saw, you can feast on, if you're the vampire spawnling or whatever that is, you can feast on your teammates if you want to. For the shorter rest, we consider peacetime between combat encounters as taking a short rest. All right, cool. Next question. It says specifically for Larian Nick, what got you into making games and how long have you been doing it? Specific language, any specific languages? I know VBC, Visual Basic Code, cool. And have dabbled in Unity. I tend to enjoy more of the background stuff like the math of how things would work out and not so much the UI side of things. Do people only do that? If so, I'm guessing it's more like low level C++, like C++. Nick says, I also enjoy the math part of things. My first programming language was Python. I had to bite the bullet and learn C++ pretty quickly though. All right. Series of questions here. This hi there, thanks for the AMA. I wanted to focus my questions on gameplay. Can you say, oh, this is some good stuff. We're gonna ask the question and answer one by one. I like this first question already. Can you say anything about the level cap? Let's go to the answer. We're planning to cover levels 1 through 10 in full release. Okay. I hope there's not a cap at level 10. I don't think that would be ridiculous. I don't think that's what they're saying. I said they think they're just going to cover 1 through 10. I don't know. That's a good question. Okay. Says specific reactions are part of class balancing in the 5th editions. Are you planning to implement reactions like counterspell and canny dodge? If not, what are you planning to do with those? It says the features and the mechanics that allow a character to perform an action as a reaction will trigger automatically. The players will be able to control which reactions they want to enable in anticipation of enemy actions. A wizard would disable their attack of opportunity but enable their shield spell, which will cast automatically whenever the wizard is targeted by an attack or magic missile spell. In Divinity Original Sin, every character was able to make more than one action per turn. How generous do you plan to be with additional actions compared to PnP? This is in Baldur's Gate 3. We're going to have the same action economy that 5e uses. A character generally can take one action, like attacking an enemy or casting a spell during their turn, and move up their movement speed for free. Additionally, they have a bonus action they can do to that too. Some classes get access to free additional attacks per turn. Can you tell us anything about itemization? Will magical items be scarce, or will there be a lot to find? This is not like an Original Sin. Baldur's Gate is a different type of game when it comes to loot and item fever. We still want to make treasure exciting, though, and that means a lot of manual work. Treasure has to make sense in that context, and that means hand placing and hand creating it. There will be equipment with magical bonuses, but not many. They'll feel special and they'll be tailor-made. And lastly, how are you balancing encounters with group initiatives? It seems that in many cases, the combat would be decided by the initiative roll. How does one side come back into the combat if they get fireball twice or more times to be able to act? Since vertically and larger scale combat arenas help us make sure that the covering of the entire enemy team with AoE is extremely rare. Rushing into fray is risky play because if your plan doesn't work out, you'll be exposed to enemy retaliation. Additionally, we're still experimenting with those tweaks to the initiative system. Baldur's Gate 3 combat is much higher stakes than the Divinity Original Sin 2. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do, folks. I see that some people have seen there's a question that has been posted. Big ups to Jay Smith. We're gonna get your question out there. So let's separate from all that and close out with people's final thoughts and see if we can get, while we're closing out with final thoughts, we're going to try to see if we can get Jay's questions answered, y'all. So let's check out these rules. What is the rules? It says, okay, all posts must contain proof. The point of proof is to connect who you are. Okay. Topics must follow IMA guidelines. Requests belong. Requests top level comments. Don't ask for personal favors from an op. Don't bypass rules by adding to a non-question. No abusive or harassing comments. All right. So let me see if I can make a comment. Hello, guys. Hello, guys. We are big. Let me see what Jay's question is. What was the decision process behind locking the combat to turn-based? Okay, gotcha. All right, great question. Hello, guys. We are big fans of what we saw of the game. When I say we, hello. Hello. Asking this question for fellow gamers. I can't even spell. Fellow gamers. We are big fans of what we saw. Geez, what we saw from PAX East. Here's our question. And there we go. What was the decision process? Turn-based. Okay, let's set it. And let's comment. Let's see if we get our questions answered. Just now. All right, so we'll leave it there. Okay, with that being said, let's give it a few moments and see if we get a response. But big up to everybody going through. Let me just go through some of these comments here in the chat. Stadia Arcadia, what's going on? What is going on? Glad to see you here. Let's see here. If you let every single character. Okay. David Long says, cannot wait for this game. I really hope I can find some dedicated Stadia players to call. Hey, brother, I'll be there. Look me up. MM2K Stadia. Again, MM2K Stadia. Look me up, man. I'll be there. We'll get some gaming on. Definitely. Do a couple of streams too, if you don't mind. Ashes to Ashes says, there are a ton of great community members around, and that I'm sure will group with you, David. Hanging in these streams, you meet a ton of great people. Absolutely. And I'm okay. I'm a somewhat decent person. My family will tell you I'm somewhat decent. Alberto Madonna says, same as Crema and Tantrum, will be cool to see this games on Stadia and Google helping the MMO community in games. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, having an MMO, or having a game like this at a grand scale helps show, that this is not some floppy, some mansy pants. This isn't some throwaway service here. Like, this is the real deal. I mean, Larian said there are things that are going to be done here that cannot be done on consoles right now. And John Justice and others, including Phil Harrison, have alluded to that, hey, they're ready for when those new consoles come out. They're ready to flip that switch and say, hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? And put them server blades in and skyrocket you into Stadia 2.0, baby. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important that games of a grander scale are coming out there. And look, as me and Chase joke regularly, we got the Lion and the Serengeti. That is Amazon. They're coming out with their big MMO in May, I believe. I think it's May. So yeah, we definitely got to look out for these players, some major players here. Let me refresh here and see if let me check out something here. I want to check out something here. Get something real quick. Maybe I shouldn't have refreshed my profile. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm gonna put this back over here and we'll sit there and wait and see if we get something. You know what I mean? We'll see if we get something back from them, but definitely. Great question, and hopefully we'll get an answer. But no, I'm very excited for this game. I'm very enthused, and yeah, there's gonna be a lot of community people. I mean, this is a big deal. There's gonna be a lot of people playing this game, and the streaming of this game is gonna be even bigger. Can you imagine the interaction that's gonna happen with this game, and it's gonna be so seamless? Can you imagine that? I mean, this is gonna be amazing. This is gonna be amazing. See here, Jay Smith says, hold on, before I get to Jay. What, Duncan, man, why a Stadia Arcadia? I don't get this hate that Duncan has for you, man. I don't get it. Duncan says, don't subscribe to Stadia Arcadia. I don't get the hate. Jay Smith says, and then Ashes is backing it up. No, Ashes, don't do that. Stadia Arcadia, I need you to do me a favor. I'm on your side, buddy. I'm on your side. I made you a mod. I would like for you to drop your channel here in this chat. Great content, definitely. Everybody that has thought-provoking thoughts about this whole platform, whether ours totally match or not, you definitely want to hear the diversity of thought in this community. So I stand. Hey, look, I'm hashtag I stand. Let's do this. I stand with Stadia Arcadia. Oh man. He said, I can't wait for Stadia only features at Jay. Absolutely. Absolutely, Duncan. Jay Smith says, I'm looking forward watching people play this game because I'm impressed by the presentation, yet I need to see more of what these highly ambitious games are going to look like down the road. Great point. So, Duncan says, boo! Yeah, man, I'm that's great. Yeah, they got to show their power, man. They got to show their power. Hey, look, again, not to, this ain't negative. We're just having a robust discussion. They kind of got a little dirt thrown in their eye yesterday with the whole 4K thing. I was judgmental of the response or the lack thereof or the handling of it altogether. But we know the power of this thing. We just need them to put it in tangible forms to prove to the world. You got to, hey, look, you got to show and prove, man. So having these large scale games are crucial to say, look, this thing does have something special. Out the box, maybe was the resolution on par with a $500 console for every single port? No. But as you can see with Doom Eternal, we are on par there. Quite possibly more on par, but due to hashtag parody, they had to calm it down. But I digress. Let me not go there. But but we got some special sauce brewing. We got some special stuff under the hood. And it's important, as Jay alludes to, it's important to show what this really can do and why is it even more special on Stadia. Like, I had a tweet earlier today where I looked at the realistic side, and me and Brian, we're going to talk about this tomorrow, where I said, look guys, as it relates to Doom Eternal, here's the non-superficial take on it. Well, I don't want to say the non-super, but here's the player, the joystick in your hand take on it. It's going to be 1800p upscaled to 4K. It's only second to PC without the PC cost, right? It's on par, at least in resolution as resolution is concerned, it's on par with the most powerful console without the most powerful console cost. On top of that, I'm getting things that nobody else can provide, which is no loading, no extra storage. Do I gotta delete storage off of my NVMe, SSD? Do I gotta buy an extra internal SSD for my Xbox or for my PlayStation? Those are things I don't have to worry about. And then, if you bounce around the house, baby, with the click of a button, it goes on my phone, it goes to my tablet, it goes to my PC, it goes to my TV. Ain't no little rocket ship men as a splash screen here, baby. It's all. I know I did the Stadia sound horrible. That's the best I can. That's all it is. You don't get, so we gotta highlight the good with this thing. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gotta pout. And yesterday wasn't about pouting. It was just asking for clarity and transparency. It's just be on the lookout. We looking for transparency here, baby. With that being said, this is some fantastic stuff. So we got 3 more minutes, because we know they're going to close down shop in exactly 4 o'clock. Did they answer our question? No. It don't look like they might answer our question, but let's get some more thoughts from you guys before we close out. Let's see here. Jeremy Gleaner says, greetings from the Caribbean. Hey, big ups to that. He says, great content on this channel as always. I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And definitely thank you for the kind words. Oh, here goes my buddy Shay Capo. The big ups to Shay Capo, big time supporter of all my content. Big ups to him. He says, exactly, Ma, Stadia for life. Let's go. Hey, Shay, stop. Hey, don't be playing with me, Shay. You Stadia bound now, brother. You Stadia bound now. Come on, Shay. Don't play with my emotions now. You know you've been trying to kick Stadia's ribs in for the last couple months. You trying to tell me you got your Founders Edition, your Premier Edition. Don't play with my emotions. You're gonna make me cry live on air, man. Don't do that. Big up to Shay Kappa again, big time supporter. And again, we ain't always gotta agree, baby. It's about diversity of thought. You know what I'm saying? Learning what you don't know makes the mind grow. I just came up with that right now. Y'all can borrow it royalty free. Learning what you don't know makes the mind grow. I wake up every morning saying, what can I learn today? And I'm not trying to sound like LeVar Burton off of Reading Rainbow. I'm serious. I've really humbled myself to the point to where I want to learn something new, because that's only going to give me a better understanding and give me a better connection to all of you out there. Stuff like that is important to me. And you can't You can't grow as a person without relationships and without understanding the value of everybody. That's just how I feel. Ashes to Ashes says, yeah, come on, Shake. Don't be playing with our emotions about the crowd live on stage. don't do this to me. Shake's playing with my emotions. I know how Shake Capo get down. Big time supporter. Appreciate you, good brother. But with that being said, okay, doesn't look like let me refresh this one more time. I didn't get any notifications. And that was a hell of a question too, man. And my bad. Jay, that was my fault. I should have asked it earlier. I'm sitting there babbling and going on about all this sentimental stuff, and I didn't ask that earlier. And I'm pretty sure they're getting unadulterated with questions. There's 925 comments already. Jeez Louise. When we first started, there was 300. So, but yeah, hey guys, I appreciate everybody for giving me the time and day. Y'all rocking with your boy. Sorry for the earlier confusion, but we're going to do this more regularly. As we come across more AMAs, we'll sit together, we'll hash them out. That way you ain't got to scroll and mess up your eyeballs to try to figure them out. We'll go over it and talk about it together. I think this went over pretty well with something new, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. But with that said, it is your boy MM2K. Hey, look, don't forget, y'all, around the same time tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, an hour earlier than this, I will have the illustrious Brian of Club Stadia. He will be on the show. And Brian he's a wanted fugitive. He got Tim Sweeney on the hunt. You know what I'm saying? He got who was that? Forbes or Business Insider on the hunt. Everybody's looking for Brian. I'm harboring a fugitive tomorrow. Be there. Might be the last MM2K show you see. Don't want to miss it. No, it's going to be a fantastic show. It's going to be a great show. Definitely don't want to miss it. I'm going to tap Brian's brain. And big up to the success of his channel. Over 2,500 people. I know we hear all the time, oh, don't nobody care about Stadia. It's just you, MM2K. Brian has over 2,500 people. And most of the people that say that to me, they got channels too, and they only got like 13 people. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying ain't dedicated to the kettle calling the pot calling the kettle black. You know what I mean? So we're going to get Brian on here. We're going to tap his brain on a lot of these Stadia developments. We're going to talk about Doomgate. we're going to talk about the great stuff going on too. The double down on the commitment and whatever else news breaks. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow. And with that said, I want to thank everybody for coming through. Let's recycle this one more time. See if we got lucky, y'all. No, we didn't get lucky. That's okay. Great question, Jay. Great question, Jay. Maybe somebody will plop in later, and ask it, and then I'll bring it up in tomorrow's sit down with Brian. With that said, I want to thank everybody for coming through. Thank you so much for making this experiment a success. We got 13 people watching. Thank you so much. Shake Capital says, are you streaming Doom tomorrow? Doom doesn't come out until the 20th. But what I am going to do, I haven't picked up Serious Sam yet. That's because I got too many goddamn games. I got too many damn games to buy this month on Stadia. I got to get Division 2 with that new Warlord thing. Oh my God. And then I got Doom Eternal coming. And then I want that Serious Sam. Serious Sam is crazy. It's nuts. It's right up my alley. I have a couple of screws loose, just like Serious Sam does. So I'm hurting, man. You're talking about darn well $90 to $120 worth of games right there. My wife got to be in a deep sleep before I steal that credit card this month, but we'll see. So if I pick up Serious Sam, I'll stream that tomorrow. If not, again, this is no hate here. I love gaming altogether. I talk about Xbox, PlayStation, not really Nintendo, but that's okay. And even GFN. We're using GFN as a catalyst until the Division 2 comes out on what's it called? So I've been streaming it. Big ups to Cold Blood Sensei, big time supporter. I got a Twitch channel. You can go to twitch.tv/MightyMost2000. I'll put it here in the chat. All right. Go there, please. Twitch.tv/MightyMost2000. Now, look, we're a little bit raunchier over there. the moniker for that channel is the Hard Knock Digital Culture. Okay, so we're a little bit raunchy over there if y'all can handle it. But we highlight hardcore gaming, and we also talk about hardcore martial arts. We're into the Donnie Yens and the Tony Jahs, and we're also into hardcore anime. So it's all hardcore entertainment, nerd entertainment, as a lot of people call it, going on over there. I stream the Division 2 via GFN over there on that platform. So definitely follow me there, please. I'd love to support if you're interested. It's not for the faint of heart, but come over there and join us. I also run a podcast over there. It's called the NRO Project with co-host Nethos. We had a great show earlier this week. Definitely check us out there. And with that said, I thank everybody for being part of this experiment, for making it a success. I love this community, and we all love this platform, and there's only great things ahead. And with that said, you all have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.
Stay sick cause I follow my gut. They say I was pushing my luck. I'ma push me a matte all black truck. Oh, I'm not sorry.